Check, check, check one, check two.
Like 20 years ago, and a lot of people think that Alex Jones is actually Bill Hicks, and he did a whole segment on it one time. It's kind of funny, but I don't think they're the same person. But Alex Jones, man, he looks. They say he got back on Twitter, on X, and he's the Health Ranger. You ever have the Health Ranger? You ever listen to the Health Ranger, Rob?
No.
Mike Adams. He used to fill in for Alex Jones. He hasn't been on the Alex Jones show for a while, but X has allowed Alex Jones back on. He's been getting millions of views now, getting back into mainstream. So
let's talk about X. Let's talk about X. So I had three things to talk about with you guys. Wanted to get your comments. First involves a story back in 1994 that I had a dream. It was a lucid dream that I was abducted. And I was flying through space, and I sat in this spaceship. I'm going to give you the really, really brief history of this, right? So I wrote this down in my journal, and I still have it, that I was sitting in an auditorium, kind of like stadium, spaceship kind of thing. And this being was going through the crowd, and I was like, oh shit, they're coming for me, right? So this is in my dream, or in my whatever this was. So the guy's like coming through, and I'm like, hey, what are you looking for? What are you doing? And he's like, I'm smelling. Because he was smelling people. And I said, what are you looking for? And he goes, well, I'm looking for the smell of Windex. So I wrote that down. And as I'm writing it down, I'm like, that makes absolutely no fucking sense. Like Windex. And then I'm thinking, and I'm like, you know what? If Earth is a planet, Earth has a smell. The water probably has a smell. Like, you can smell like sulfur water. I'm like, maybe, X is an unknown, right? That's just a variable. So if it's wind X, maybe that makes sense, right? That might make sense. So flash forward 20, 30 years almost. And now I looked up some of the meanings of X. Obviously Twitter is now X, right? Xmas for Christmas. So X is now associated with Christ as well, the X.
What about blood types? What about X, blood types?
It's just unknown. X is just an unknown, but I'm saying what is X in this reality? So X has been around for a long time, but now we have Xbox. We have Twitter is X. X is unknown. X marks the spot for treasures. We have triple X. I'm not sure what that is. We have, so X is also the 24th letter in the alphabet. X is also the scientific element of xenon, whatever the hell that means. X can mean 10. X can mean electricity. So the reactance of currents. X also means horizontal axes. X also means the cardinal letter. So that's interesting. X is also a street drug. X means missing. X means delete or cancel. And X means the cross. So why is X coming into our reality so much? So with Twitter and Xbox, I mean, what the hell is this supposed to mean? Like, what do you guys?
I got a theory about your experience. I think that, like, in your experience, that was very real. I think you were in a parallel reality. I think they were searching for your blood type, and I think you saw Windex as a screen memory. Like you maybe it was something that the alien or the being didn't want you to know, or something that you couldn't comprehend at the time. So therefore, it's a screen memory. But they were probably looking for your blood type. Because that's what they do. They've been looking for people's blood type for years. Like, they've been taking semen from men and eggs from women. All the other abduction cases. And that's kind of my idea on it. I just think dreams are a parallel reality. So I think, or it was in this reality and you were experiencing it as a dream. So there's a lot of different things, but that's it. That's fascinating. That's why I think you should be regressed. I really do.
Well, so I did do a regression with Maya about a week and a half ago. And
you did? Okay.
Here's my take on regressions, because this is now the second time I've done it. First of all, I don't think I can be regressed, not consciously. I don't think that I'm able to be hypnotized by voice. Now, she did a really good job as far as that, because it's concerned. Like, I was really into trying to do it, but the second I open my mouth, the second I start talking, it's over. Like, it's not happening. So if I'm going to be regressed, it's going to have to be somebody who can connect to my spirit, my essence, or whatever. That's the only way I'm going to be able to be regressed and be like psychically channeled. Because once I open my mouth, I start talking, it's over. Like that connection is gone. I tried. I mean, again, she did a really good job trying to take me places. It's not going to happen for me. Like, she did a way better job than the last person did. But it's not, it can't happen. I don't think my blood type honestly can be, taken subconsciously while I'm awake. You know what I mean? If I maybe be hypnotized, maybe, but there's no way. I'm not going anywhere. It's just, I wish I could. I just can't.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, why do you think you can't be regressed? Like, what do you think it is? Like,
I think I'm just like, I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but I just think I'm so aware of what's going on. I'm so like perceptive, and so I don't know. It's not.
you're
even
skeptical of it. You're skeptical of
like
it.
I'm like, yeah, well, I wish I wasn't like, but I'm just so like tapped into like everything going on around me that I can't lose my. I don't want to say can't lose my ego, but I can't lose my subconscious. Like I won't, and maybe it's a control thing, but I don't think I can be. I don't think I can be snapped into some kind of hypnosis. Have you guys ever heard of this guy called what's his name is somebody Perlman? Hold on one second.
Ron Perlman.
His name is Oz Perlman. Have you seen that crap?
No.
So let me tell you something. I don't know what it is, but I don't know what you guys. What are you guys' thoughts on magic and things that really don't make any sense that can be done? Because before I ask you,
stage
what you're
magic,
talking
or
about.
you mean like magic with a
Magic,
K?
unexplainable fucking magic, dude. Like this guy is a hypnotist, and I'm gonna tell you, if you watch some of his stuff, Chad, in sports, he goes to like these sports teams, and he'll have a piece of paper, he'll write it down. I mean, you can go look him up as far as what it is. It's crazy. He throws Joe Burrow, the Bengals quarterback, a ball, and he says, "Throw the ball," and he throws the ball to this guy, and he goes, "You throw it to this guy." And he goes, "Oh shit, you got me." So he goes, "Okay, throw it again." There's a whole room full of people. Okay, go again. Boom, does it again. He's like, "You know what? I want you to really think about this. And I want you to, in your mind, I want you to do something. Throw it to anybody in the room." So he writes the shit down. He's writing for a second. Joe Burrow fakes the ball to a receiver and throws to somebody else. And he turns the paper around. He goes, "Fake the ball to this guy, throw it to this guy." And everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
I knew exactly what that is, and I don't mean to be like, but that's just people that are tapped in, man. There's people that have psionic abilities that they're tapped into like higher consciousness that they don't even.
Hold on, time out. Like I completely get what you're saying, but you can't be tapped into something that hasn't happened yet, in my opinion.
Well, no, you can't. It's like futuristic predictions, like you know what I mean. Like it's like some people are good with that stuff.
No way. That's not possible, Rob.
But you just proved it's possible.
No, there's another variable out there. The other variable is he's mind controlling the quarterback. That's the only thing that makes sense.
That's true. You could that could be possible too. I never thought of it that way. But I mean, I like to think that people are more psychically tapped in, I mean, that's just the way I look at it.
Everything's deterministic then. It has to be determined. And how could you have a situation where you're literally making it up as you go that's determined? It's not like you can predict the Super Bowl winner and go, well, these two teams are pretty damn good. I can predict who's going to win. I can kind of predict the score, how it's going to go. And then it's like you're predicting thoughts before they happen. And in my opinion, it's not possible in any reality, even a simulated reality. Chad, what do you think about? Have you seen any of this stuff?
I haven't seen who you mentioned, but I've seen a lot of David Blaine doing very similar things. And you have to wonder how that is. I know that I've seen documentaries on David Blaine, and some of the stuff he does is real. But as far as the mind stuff, where he'll walk up to somebody and he'll say, "Think of a deck of cards. You're thinking of the ace of spades." And the guy's like, "Oh my God, how'd you know?" But we don't know if he got that wrong 20 times before that.
Yeah, we don't know that, right? But when you have a group of people, and this is what I'm saying about this guy, is that he does to all these sports teams. And he's like, he's actually, you would say they're reading their mind, but he's doing it before the mind reader. So like you can be tapped into what the guy's thoughts are, but the guy hasn't thought of it yet, Rob. That's my point. Like,
yeah,
he's doing it before the guy does it. So how the hell
makes sense?
How can the hell can that happen? So
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
But people predict weird psychic shit all the time. You know what I mean? That's not an anomaly.
I don't see. I think that's different. I think prediction is different than manipulation, and that's where this is leading to. Like I think he's manipulating them as opposed to predicting what they're doing. And I guess that's a different kind of magic potentially. But I think it makes more sense
that's evil. That's like dark magic. You know what I mean? That people that do dark magic can do that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
But how can you tap into that? So that brings me to something that I wanted to discuss with you guys. And I was going to do it. I was going to do it separately, just to get your reactions. I'll let you guys talk about it. But Chad, this is extremely interesting. And so I was looking into this and I've heard this before. And Rob, I know you've heard this part of it. So I'll tie both of you guys into this. So this is actually good. Both of you are here. Rob, I'm sure you've heard about Saturn and the Saturn cube. And I know you have too, Chad, about potentially Saturn is actually the Matrix computer and it's tapping into us. And the rings are actually like putting us under the spell.
Well, David Icke wrote a book about that. And I had Nick Hinton on the podcast. He talked a lot about that too. And there's a cube, right? Because there's a kind of a rectangle at the top of Saturn. And that has to be associated with the black cube, which we see all throughout.
I actually haven't heard that part of it, but okay. So we can all say that we've heard about some kinds of the rings being information or whatever. So I start listening to some things and my mind starts going a certain direction at like 6 a.m. whenever I do this. I'm at the gym, just stretching and just, typing shit. And my mind's just going crazy, right? So I have this premonition of this thought, this theory that the Van Allen radiation belt is actually an Akashic record. It's an information field that we can't get above because that's actually controlling our world, right? So I start Googling that. I'm watching some videos on that. And I get this guy who actually in 2004 won a Nobel Prize for the Akashic records, proving that they are existing, right? So that links into, he's talking about the Akashic records and the Hall of Information and frequency vibration being information. And all of a sudden this guy says, I wrote a book. Guess who he wrote a book with, Chad? Co-authored a book with Anthony Peake.
You didn't give me a chance to say it. I was just saying Anthony Peake.
Oh, that good for you. So anyway, so this quantum immortality quest that I've been on and proving that I can almost prove theoretically that quantum immortality and the spirit never dies because of the observer effect. I'll link those two together in another video probably, but just the
what's the observer effect? You got to tell me what that is.
That we're rendering our reality as it goes. Anthony Peake talks about this a lot. He says that the science has basically proven that our reality is being rendered by our emotions, our thoughts, and our observation. That's what the double slit experiment proves. So,
well, wait, that ties into what you said about the last thing. If we're rendering our reality, then there's a reason that guy could have known who Joe Burrow was going to throw the ball to, right?
Could be.
That makes sense.
Could be. There's two ways to say that. Yes, he could be tapping into what is to come, but he also could be tapping into I'm making it happen by my thoughts are actually downloading into his brain and I'm influencing what he's doing.
I
actually ran my own double slit experiment and it works. But I did it a little bit differently. I did it with Janelle and Chanel.
Okay.
But I'm not.
Boom.
Okay. Nobody got that joke. But.
The double slit with Chanel and Janelle. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I like that. I got it. I just got to know I'm slow. I'm blonde sometimes. I'm just
what are
you just come to me sometimes.
What are your guys' random thoughts about potentially the Van Allen radiation belt being the Akashic records or an information field that's actually governing this matrix of our reality? What do you guys have any thoughts about
I'll just start off with this. Going back to like the hypnosis thing, I was thinking when I was regressed, like I was always really skeptical in my regressions because I started thinking this has to do with the Akashic records because I was thinking when someone gets regressed, how do they know they're tapping into their field and how do they know they're not tapping into this Akashic field? Because it seems like this Akashic field exists somewhere that people can tap into information and get it. And it's not just with hypnosis. People who are psychic can tap into it. There's other examples where people can tap into this like Akashic field somehow. So I would think it exists. The fact that it's in the Van Allen belt, maybe, yeah, that makes sense, But do you really think we can't get outside of it?
Well, yeah, that's why I think that this is such a BS experiment about space. So you also think about the relationship in words, right? I mean, this is all going through my head in the morning. Is that when I'm listening to these guys talk, I'm typing something completely different, but it's on the same associated record, the same associated, premise. And I start hearing things and I have synchronicities happen to me. Like I'm typing in like space. What is space? And then all of a sudden Anthony Peake's like time and space. And I'm like, wait a minute, space, like space time or space is in matter? Or is it the same thing? I mean, why do we say that something is in space? Think about that. So space can be matter or it could be what's above us. So time and space could literally be X and Y coordinates of the radiation belt or the Akashic records. Like space could be that information is space, basically. literally.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then you start thinking of,
I like that thought. I like that.
the other thing that I thought about was like, some of these sayings, like, have you ever heard of the saying, come back down to earth?
Yeah.
So that ties into like the soul trap thing too, about, maybe being a reincarnation cycle that we go up and then they say, hey, come back down to earth, or hey, come back down to earth, or hey, come back to earth.
Oh my God, I never thought of that.
It's almost like these synchronicities are planted in our programming, in our words by our spelling, literally, and that they all connect. That's why I start doing these decoding things too about X and the letters and what they mean, because there's often hidden meanings in these letters and these words that we can't really associate with until we put together the whole piece of the puzzle.
Right. Well, did you guys see there was a news article about Uranus from the James Webb Telescope about what it looks like? It doesn't even look like a planet to me. It has all these rings around it. If you Google it, you'll see it was very odd to me, the way it looks. And I thought maybe somebody would do a video about it. I haven't seen anything yet, but supposedly the James Webb Telescope brought back some some new, I don't know, new
pictures,
whatever composite images they have. And it looked so weird to me. Like it has all these, it has a whole bunch of rings around it, two sets of rings.
I did see an article recently that said that Saturn's rings will be disappearing by like 2025 or some nonsense. So where the hell are they going? How do they know this?
I did see that too. But
there's a book out. Sorry, go ahead, Chad. I was just looking up a book. There's a book out called The Ring Makers of Saturn, about supposedly like these ETs, like the, it's by Norman Bergen, The Ring Makers of Saturn. It says photos taken from the Voyager 1 flight to Saturn. Oh wait, 1980 remarkable book series about the photographs of the A ring is incomplete. The famous Cassini and something about, I don't know. I thought he thought it was like there was ETs that made the rings or something like that. I don't know much about it. I don't know about. I got to look at that a little bit.
Well, I just texted you guys, not texted you, but I sent you a private chat. If you click that link, it'll take you to the picture of Uranus. It doesn't even look real to me. I don't know. Does that look like a planet, or does it look like some type of?
No, that's illumination. That's a luminescence field.
Yeah, this is what the telescope found.
Wow, that's great. That's pretty cool looking, to be honest. But I don't think that. All that stuff is all contrasted. It's all fixed. It's not a photo. Like, that is literally some kind of AI doctrination. And in the meantime, AI is just putting together videos and Google stuff, and that brings me into another crazy thing that happened to me. So if I can find the banner. So I already asked you, Chad, because I was freaked out. I was watching football. Rob, you watch NFL football?
Yeah.
So I'm watching football. I'm watching the Red Zone channel on Sunday, and this guy's name pops up on the screen, and I'm like, who the fuck is that dude? Oh, it's the running back for the Bucks. So I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, what the hell is that? That is not his name. So I Google his name, which is this is his name. I play fantasy. I'm very detail oriented. His name is Rashad White, Rachaad White, right? So I Google Rachaad White, and here comes Google. I have pictures of this. Google says Rachaad White, and it says, predictive text, Tampa Bay Bucks, NFL. So I click on it, and it changes it, of course, and says, oh, did you mean this guy? I'm like, no. What? Who the fuck is this dude? So, I start going through all kinds of stuff. And if you're watching this out there and you think this guy's name is Rachaad White, or I don't care how you pronounce it. His name's not Rachaad White. This is his name.
I thought it was Rachid White. So his name's a Mandela effect, basically.
It literally just changed within the last week.
If I put in Rachaad White into Google,
okay,
I spelled it Rashaad, and you know where it says like people also ask?
Yep.
It says, should I start Rashad White with the C, R-A-C? And the next question is, who does Rashad, R-A-S? So
I
it has the name. It has the name
it's in
spelled
there.
both ways.
It's in there. It's in there. I mean, I literally have gone through probably 20 hours of YouTube videos, and I found some interesting stuff. Obviously, you know, I'm not dumb. I don't think that AI predicting these captions is accurate, but it is very interesting that when you go through like Reddit, everybody spells his name the way that I have it posted now, and all the predictive, all the AI stuff, all the banners, they all spell it this way now. However, like I said, I've been doing a lot of research on this guy in particular, and then we'll get to the real question of the crux. When you look at this guy's name about 2 weeks ago into NFL circles, all the captions say this: R-A-S-H-A-D, White.
Really?
Now all the captions say this. So the captions have actually just changed as well. So now the captions are predicting this name, whereas this name was the one that was there more than 2 weeks ago on everything. All the comments, there are a few comments that I've seen this guy's name about, 6-7 months ago. A few people have done that, but a lot of them are edited. So they're edited comments, which is really fucking crazy as it is, to be honest. That people would edit their comment and go, oh, I misspelled this guy's name. So I sent out about 12 text messages to my friends who all should know the name of this guy, which they all knew. Most of them asked me, White. They said White. And I'm like, what? Why would you say that? Like, how would you even respond that if I asked you somebody's name, why would you say their last name only? It's just kind of messed me up a little bit. Anyway, if anyone else has any suggestions on which way to go with this, I have a ton of screenshots. I have a ton of information that I've looked at. But that brings me to the crux of the question, right? And this is what I want your opinion on. How can this guy's name change? And so let's assume that I'm correct. Assume that I'm not batshit crazy and I haven't mispronounced it or misspelled it. If the guy's name changed, how can you come to terms with that? I mean, how NPC, non-NPC, like this guy's name just fucking changed. I'm not into the parallel realities. I'm not into I just jumped or he jumped or whatever. The guy's name freaking changed, and there's residue all over the damn place. In this reality, go. I don't know. I'm out of words.
Please, my child, you have to understand. You need to talk with Rashad and find out if he understands that his name has changed.
He is not there. There's nobody home. No, you can't change somebody's name like Sally Field in the Sally Fields or Fields in the Field. You can't change all the stuff that happens around these people. Chad, you know the turmeric one, the Mandela effect that got you, right? But so there's a guy that I follow. I used to follow. His name is Thomas DeLauer. He's very famous on wellness.
I know Tom. Yes, he puts out videos every day. He's got 1 million subscribers. Yes.
Yep. So this guy was very specific. Again, I'm not crazy. I don't give a shit what anybody says. My memory is flawless. It is. Do I make mistakes? Absolutely. But when somebody says turmeric to me and I hear it 1,000 fucking times, and then all of a sudden there's an R in there and it's turmeric, and then I go back on a video and go, what's going on? And then the guy says turmeric, clear as day. This host that I'm talking about, I don't think this guy has a clue that his voice just, repronounced that turmeric. And the same thing with these people in fantasy football that I went back and watched videos and they're all saying Rashad. Well, of course it's Rashad. That's not how you spell Rashad. But, I don't think that these people who are doing these shows on YouTube have any clue. And I'm going to reach out to somebody because one of them lives in Tampa. He lives in Tampa, and I would be shocked, but not completely shocked, if like half the people who know who this guy is, know exactly who this guy is, are going to tell me, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, and then they'll just cut it off. That'll be it. There won't be no conversation about that. They're going to just not know, because that's how it works. Some people cannot see Mandela effects. They just can't. And they can't talk about it. They just shut off and go right down the road. They're done. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So how is that is my question. how that's the crux of the question is how do these things operate for certain people that not only can see them, but that are absolutely 100% devastatingly obvious that they're legit. And then some people who just misremembered. I mean, how do you make sense of that? Because I can't. I really can't. And it drives me fucking nuts.
Unless they just made a mistake on his name, you know? I mean, like, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like that.
We're talking about stuff that's changed, though, Rob. We're not talking about name changes or AI changes. We're talking about physical matter reality changing.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that make any sense?
I'm stumped. I'm stumped. Like, it's interesting for sure. You know, it's yeah, I don't know. So
I don't know. I mean, I just I figured I'd tell you guys about it and talk about it, and you guys can do research if you're interested in it. But I mean, I don't expect you to, because it's kind of a personal Mandela effect for me, because I've seen players and I've seen names and I've seen things, and I've asked certain people. I even asked one of my friends. He goes, I have him on my fantasy team. I know the name is Rashad. He's on my fantasy team. I go, oh yeah. So I send him a picture of it. I go, who the fuck's this dude? And he goes, I don't know. Maybe I misspelled it. And I'm going, you weren't wrong, dude. Like, how can I get people off of their discernment and their truth that easily? Like, it hurts, man. That shit hurts. Because I start thinking the same way that I start thinking about when I'm watching, Anthony Peak stuff, and he's asking guys questions, and all of a sudden he goes, we're creating our own reality. And then he goes, that leaves us in the solipsism. And I go, now we're talking. Now you understand why, if you create your own reality and it's your own personal reality, how the hell do you not go into solipsism?
Explain to me that. What's solipsism? What did you say that was?
Solipsism is the fact it's a theory that you're the only one here. Everyone else is a figment of your imagination. You're interacting with figments of your imagination, basically. Like, you're not real, Chad's not real. And the way that I can prove that is I could basically say, again, I'm telling you this guy's name is this, and you're telling me that you remember the guy's name being this. This is what you've seen a million times. Not you personally, but like if I talking to you, and then all of a sudden I go, well, the guy's name changed, and then you go, well, maybe I was just wrong, and I'm going, but where's your discernment in that? And so you start thinking that you're creating your own reality, and everybody else is just fucking like changing their story all the time. And it's like, I must be cuckoo. I must be the only one here doing this, because nobody else is fucking paying any attention to anything.
I don't think it's that. I don't think we're the only one in our own reality. I think everybody else is real to a certain extent. It's just,
but physicists say that is actually the case. You've heard, Chad, Chris Anach say bubbles of reality. That's what it is. It's been proven that we are actually observing our own realities. That's a scientific fact. Now, to what extent,
we're creating our own reality, but I mean, like, I don't think that means that, like,
it does. Actually, it's exactly what it means. It means we're observing the observer effect through our own lens, and it is not subjective. Or sorry, it is not objective. I apologize. It's very subjective. Subjective reality is all that there is. There's no objective reality. There's no rock. There's no spoon. To quote Chad's Ben the Spoon.
Well, I also just put out a video about that scene.
Go check it out.
But seriously, there is. I don't believe in solipsism myself. Just saying. I believe Tom Campbell is right.
How very you of you, Chad. I knew you were going to say that.
No, it's a multiplayer game. Consciousness is real. We all have consciousness, except for
that
NPCs.
makes sense. Because, like, you guys are very real to me. Like, I know you guys are real. You're not NPCs, and I know I'm real. So it's like,
well, you know, when you say that, it reminds me of that scene from Vanilla Sky at the very end.
I got to watch the movie again.
When Tom Cruise is talking to I forgot the guy's name, Kurt Russell, and Kurt Russell's like, "I'm real, man. I'm real." And the doctor says to him, "Well, how many kids do you have?" And he's like, 2. And he's like, well, what are their names? He's like, I don't know. He's like, oh, come on. Because I'm real, man. He's trying to convince Tom Cruise he's real, but he's not.
That sounds that I would have to go watch that movie. That's the third time today I've heard that a reference to Vanilla Sky. And I actually gonna put out a video, but I don't like doing videos by myself. But what the hell does Vanilla Sky mean? What is Vanilla Sky? What is the premise behind that name?
That's a good question.
I mean, there's always
it was filmed here in Pittsburgh, I think. Part of it was filmed in Pittsburgh, I think. I'm not sure.
What the fuck is a Vanilla Sky? I mean, what's the esoteric symbolism behind? I mean, there's always symbolism behind these things, these words.
Oh, you got to talk to about that is Robert Sullivan. He's amazing. I've had him on my show a couple times. He's a Freemason, but he does like cinema symbolism. He would know exactly that. One thing I know about Vanilla Sky is I believe it's a Gnostic movie. So, it was made like around like when like Dark City and like all those other Gnostic films, like what's the one? Donnie Darko, like it's a Gnostic film, I think.
So is the Vanilla Sky mean there's nothing above us? I mean, what does that mean? If it's very vanilla, the sky's vanilla, it's projected.
No,
I mean, what the hell does that mean?
No, it's like it's a generic term, I think, for waking up or coming to your senses and facing reality.
Okay, but Tom Cruise is kind of crazy in that movie, correct?
So no, he's a Scientologist in real life, so he's not normal.
I'm talking about the movie when he's like, "Hey, wake up."
No, he's not. He's just a guy that has everything, and then his face gets disfigured, and then he has to, deal with that, and he becomes a drug addict, and he goes into a coma. So, I mean, and then a lot of his life is a dream in the coma. So it's one of those movies like The Matrix you have to watch a couple of times to understand.
It's funny that I get that famous quote from Kanye West, like Tom Cruise in Vanilla Sky. Very famous quote.
By the way, Tom Cruise is a short guy, by the way. I just want to say he's about 5'6". That guy, maybe 5'7" with elevator shoes. But I don't like what he did to his face. Anyway, getting back to it, man, we don't know. We just don't know, man. I mean, you guys are not fake. You guys are very real to me. People are very real to me. I just think solipsism is a nice philosophy to
It's really the only thing that fits, though. I keep coming back to it. I try to get away from it, and it's the only thing that fits. It's like, if this is a dream or we're all in our own little dream bubbles, like, I mean, I'm not saying that your characters never exist. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess to me, it's like I'm sitting underneath this Buddhist tree, and I'm like, why am I here? I mean,
let me read you this about Vanilla Sky. This is about Gnostic films in general. It just says, directors seem to be realizing that film, counter to expectation, might be the most sophisticated medium possible for expressing the Gnostic vision. Unreal and real, mechanistic and vital, commodity and artwork, the Gnostic film appears to be uniquely suited to explore relationships between appearance and reality and push toward a third term beyond these relationships. A brief list of commercial Gnostic films released over the past 25 years quickly reveals the recent obsession with gnosis. Overtly Gnostic films include Vanilla Sky, Donnie Darko, The Matrix, The 13th Floor, EdTV, Existence, The Truman Show, Dark City, Pleasantville, Total Recall, and then there's some Kabbalistic films as well. But I thought that would be interesting.
Wait, can you repeat that list again? You got Donnie Darko, Dark City, Matrix.
Okay, so the Gnostic, they're saying the Gnostic films that are overtly Gnostic are Vanilla Sky 2001, Donnie Darko 2001. Keep this in mind, the year. This is what Robert Sullivan says is interesting. They were all around the turn of the century, which means I don't know what it means, but it means so Donnie Darko 2001, Vanilla Sky 2001, The Matrix 1999, The 13th Floor 1999, EdTV 1999. Existence, 1999, The Truman Show, 1998, Dark City, 1998, Pleasantville, 1998, and Total Recall was 1990. And then they have some Kabbalistic films that are Gnostic in spirit, which are The Bicentennial Man, 1999, The Iron Giant, 1999. What Robert Sullivan says is, he says since it was like the turn of the century, it was like made to like usher in this like, this whole thing that happened, and he ties 9/11 into it. That was like a turning point for our human existence. It's pretty interesting. I don't know enough about it to give you deep commentary, but I just can say that.
I think that's the premise of Gnosticism, is that they're trying to say that there's a third option. I mean, they're saying reality, dream, and then whatever the hell this is. they're
the Gnostics were the first group to think that we were in a simulation. They thought we were
the first
like
recorded group,
yeah,
or the longest running one that they can go back for.
Yeah,
Go back into.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
man, it's interesting.
Well, guys, I have to take off soon because I have to.
So you're taking a
eat.
nap. Is it nap time?
No, definitely a little bit of food, and then we got to head out. But are you going to post this on your channel, Ken?
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna chop it up in the smaller pieces too. But I'll aside from the beginning part, I'll put it out.
All right. I appreciate you guys, man. I'm sorry I got to leave you, but
Nope, all good.
have a happy holiday, Chad. It was good getting get together with you guys before the holiday. It's cool.
yeah,
I'm not religious or anything, but I have family that celebrates the holidays, so I kind of do. You know what I mean? I'm not like sitting here singing Christmas carols, but like, I'll go to family dinner. That's about it. I don't really get overtly into it, but I don't know.
Before we go, what you guys want to say anything? You want to plug anything? Robin,
No, I was just going to say I only celebrate Kwanzaa, but I do it silently in the corner.
I spin the dreidel. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I just want to plug myself and say if anybody wants to give me money, they can go to Open Your Reality and click the donation and send me as much as you want for a Christmas gift, and really appreciate it.
Yes, I got my first super thanks, even though I didn't post for 3 months.
Oh, that was me, man. I just felt bad for you.
Shit.
I didn't want to tell you.
Not you. It was somebody made a nice comment, so I know it couldn't have been you.
All right, dudes.
Rob, anything you want to plug real quick?
Yeah, just Typical Skeptic podcast everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Rumble, Rockfin. I'm all over the place. Donate, fucking buy merch. Book a one-on-one session with me too. I'm doing a one-on-one sessions for experiencers now too. I'm all over the place.
Wait, I want to know about this. So, what do you talk about in the one-on-one sessions?
And I'm offering like coaching and paranormal experiencer support, so that could be someone who's been abducted by aliens. That could be someone who's having problems with their relationship. And it's not like counseling, because you can't say counseling or therapy, but it's just like one-on-one. I haven't even booked a session yet. I haven't had one booking yet, but I just figured I would offer it because it is another service I can offer, or a service I could offer, I got to get some price and get some reviews first.
I know somebody that wants to do it with you.
Rashad White.
He's definitely gonna book a session.
Yeah, get him.
My name changed, bro. What do I do with this? I think I'll
be like, go see Ken.
I can't even spell Richard.
I'll send him to you guys. But no, this is fun.
If anybody knows the hell I'm talking about in this thing, because there's probably a lot of people who are like, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but.
It's weird. Like in our community, not a lot of people. It's rare to find 3 people like us that watch football. But like in our community, I'm saying, like in this like esoteric like community, like not a lot of people watch football. So.
Well, they say the Super Bowl was one satanic ritual. So I don't know why they changed that dude's name. Maybe that was his sacrifice. Maybe he can't spell his name now. I don't know what the hell it is. He got to embarrass himself. But he sure as hell is playing pretty damn well right now. He was nobody last year. All of a sudden, he's a stud. So, congratulations to Richard. Richard, he's changed his name and now he's good. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right, fellas.
I'll see you soon,
guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Typical Skeptic podcast. Oh no, wait. Open Your. What channel are we on? I haven't done this in a while. We are one. We are solipsismists and seek truth, surrender, let go, and become a typical skeptic and open your reality.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good holiday.
Bye.